I'm tired of everyone claiming which Innova disc they think is the best, and after hearing some of you people thinking it's the pig, I knew it was time for the biggest project the Birdogie Channel has ever seen, ranking every single disc Innova has ever made. And that's 100 different molds. So strap up and grab some lube. We're gonna be here for a while.
I wasn't sure how the hell to start this video, so I'm going to go through every disc in alphabetical order, and every 25 discs, I'll update you guys on the progress. This video took forever, so bear with me. And if we need to make changes for the next company, we can do that. But I'm not even going to start thinking of making that until this video hits 500 likes. Your boy needs a break, because this took way longer than expected. But you know me, I'll do whatever you guys want. So without further ado, ranking every single Innova disc of all time. Let's get it. The arrow isn't even real. I don't think people actually bag this disc. Only disc golfers trying to be weird for the sake of being weird throw the alien. This is what trying too hard looks like in disc form. Thumb track discs suck, so the animal sucks. If you need a disc to fade even faster than whatever your beefy disc is, try out the ape. It was the tilt before the tilt, except you're saving yourself some money and anger from your wife. Who am I kidding? You're throwing Innova. You don't talk to women. I don't think I've ever seen an Archangel that wasn't absolutely beat to shit. Archon? Archean? No one's bagging this thing anyway. If you tell me you throw the Atlas, you better start running. I never knew the Aviator existed. Only find out it has a bit of the Lion, Atlas, and Rock 3. Yeah, that's right. 3 shitty mids combined to make one super shitty mid-range. Buckle up, because we're at the AVR stretch. The original only gets used by noobs and senior citizens that drop in every putt their eyesight allows them to see. And for some reason, it typically weighs 150 grams, which is still less than the amount of weed in their van, because we both know they live in that thing. The AVR driver. Yeah, that's a thing. The AVR 3 sucks, but the AVR X3 should be embarrassed to be even created. The beast's name is a bit misleading. However, one of Innova's most underrated drivers. Disc golfers should consider giving it more of a shot. The Banshee was one of the first discs I bought, so it'll always have a soft spot in my heart. Not a good disc, but I love it forever. I don't know what's worse, the Birdie or the Big Kahuna. Seriously, if you bag either, I can't respect you. If you're a dominant forehand player, I'm gonna assume you've been blessed with throwing the boss on the nastiest Anheuser chops. I'm gonna start calling you Master Splinter. My main throwing putter in college was the Bullfrog, so the memories run deep. They always started beefy, and by the 5th tree hit, I would have to go to the bookstore to get another. I remember when I bagged the Cayman. I got a free one, so of course I was going to bag it. I just don't like overstable mids. Sorry. The first charger I ever got was from Adam Hammis. Weird, I know, but it was from the LVC player pack, and obviously he couldn't throw it, so he gave it to me. I was just smart enough not to throw it, and gave it away to some dude on the course one day. I don't think they make the Cheetah in any plastic besides DX. Which isn't that big of a problem since people who throw one never advance past that disc anyways. There's no reason to bag an AVR, so there's really no point in bagging a classic AVR, unless you were old enough to throw one when they first came out. Don't you think of some badass when I bring up the Cobra? Rather, you should be thinking of Santino Marella. That vibe fits much better, and sums up basically everyone that still bags one. People that buy a Colossus typically do it to sound cool, but every true disc golfer knows that was a waste of 20 bucks. The only person I know that used to actually putt with a Colt was Disc Golf Jesus. And then his car blew up, leaving the disc in flames. Coincidence? I think not. Innova tried their best to branch out to a new market with the Corvette. I could shit on that, but at least they didn't stoop to hockey logos, Disney characters, or whatever else gimmick companies are trying nowadays. Call them old all you want. At least when you make no business moves, you can't make bad ones. I guess they got that going for them. We're at the 25 mark, so I'll update you guys on the rankings so far. I'm not going to waste each time going back over the discs because I still have over 100 to go through. This is still a good opportunity to see where my thought process is if you care any about that. I really want to hate on the Coyote so bad, but the only person I've seen use this actually made me like what it was doing. I mean, it was probably just Trevor making it look that good. Kind of like how he makes shots look on coverage. Come on, no one actually is out there claiming they threw a crow. Are they? How does someone make that sound any cool? Looking for something flippy and tried every other option available to you? Because that's the only way I'm accepting you trying the dataless out. My rules for darts are only when I'm drunk, because then the throws don't count. I mean, we've all heard about drinking and darts. Just like cigs inside, they go hand in hand. Fuck you and your destroyer. I know more than half of you shouldn't even be laying a finger on this disc, unless you're rocking a first run Raptor, because that's the best version, and that's just a fact. Or I guess I'll be okay with a 4-time Macbeth. Can't be mad with the classic. The only people that bag a Dominator are gimps trying to project so no one will find out their secret. Here's a hint. No person not getting fisted is throwing a Dominator. This might surprise you, but I like the dragon. No, for real, I'm not kidding. I love dragging my balls all over your face. Out of all the Innova discs named after birds, the eagle is at the bottom of that list. Not really, but sounds right. Come on though, hard to beat the Firebird. I wonder if they didn't think of Phoenix or what the hell went into calling it a fire chicken. But here we are. The disrespect from the Hanging Loose podcast is unreal. I don't forget, guys. I used to tell people the Firestorm was alright, and I can't remember if that was because it was a 14 speed or just because it was free. Either way, I wish I could go back in time and stop myself from ever doing that. I've never heard of the FL, but if it's anything like the state of Florida, I'm gonna stay as far away as possible. Babies do meth there, for Christ's sake. I'm pretty sure the Foxbat was the reason the world shut down in 2020. Avoid at all cost or suffer the jab. I know I was just talking about Florida, but go Gators, baby. I don't even like the disc golf that much, but this is so much fun to do. Overstable mid-ranges are the most boring disc in the world for me, so I know some Innova lovers are going to be upset about the ranking. In what situation have you ever heard the Gazelle talked about in a positive way? Exactly. Never. And that's not going to change here. The Groove might be one of the most hated discs for no reason, and coming from me, that's gotta mean something. I still haven't decided if throwing it barefoot makes it better or not. No reason to name a disc after the worst Avenger. I don't care how you try and phrase it. Shooting a bow and arrow good is not a cool superpower. Now going full Ronin and killing a bunch of people, I can get down for that disc, but the Hawkeye? I'll pass. You know what the cool kids say. Hail Hydra. Damn, back-to-back Marvel references? My nerd is showing. Invader? More like invade her. Nope, that sounded way too much like what the old man who used to stand across my bus stop used to say. And I bet if he had a favorite disc, it would be the Invictus. I don't know. People that bag that disc just gave me weird vibes. You gotta be kidding me. I thought disc names couldn't get worse, but how does Innova make something called the fucking It? Such a clown move. The disc feels like the rim started to swell up, or someone started to inflate it, but stopped halfway. Alright, I gotta respect the weed reference from Dave. At least, that's what I'm assuming he meant by J. My initials are JK, and I didn't even use this variation of the AVR. Hopefully you were smart enough to do the same. The first disc I fell in love with was the Blizzard Katana. It's how I started throwing hyzer flips. The memories are for sure helping this rating out, but it's my list, so make your own video if you want to complain. Until then, I'm gonna keep my bitchin'. Just like every other AVR, you can skip right over the KC. Personally, the more stupid variations the disc has, the less I'm gonna like it. Back in 3rd grade, I wrote a poem about my favorite animal, and that was a king cobra. Today, I will recite a new haiku I wrote about this disc. The king cobra rules the mighty wild jungle, but as a disc, it's shit. On that note, we're 50 Innova discs into this. Here's how the list is currently looking. You liking what you see? Well, don't get too happy. We're not even halfway through yet. Who in their right mind thought naming a disc the Kite was a good idea? Unless this thing is the floatiest disc to ever exist, it's pretty dumb. Which is probably why I've never seen anyone actually bag it. The only people that are allowed to throw the crate is the fake Slim Shadys. You know, the ones with their tips frosted colder than they do it at Wendy's, paired with earrings that would make Tomatoa's ass scream shiny all the way from the realm of monsters. I don't need the dudes with Viagra prescriptions yelling at me for talking bad about the Leopard, which I wasn't gonna do because it's a classic. Now the Leopard 3 can catch some flack. Good disc, dumb name. Sounds like an Innova disc to me. Or if we're being honest, a real Innova disc has a bad name and bad feel. And that's a lion for you. That's what happens when you try and re-release a disc that was already out before that no one wanted to buy. I don't think I've actually seen someone bag a Mako without the 3. This also happens to be the first ever disc I bought with my own money. And that very same disc nearly 7 years later happened to be my friend's first ace disc after only a handful of rounds. But the disc is fire, so the ranking is fair, I promise. One time Swiss Cheese got a Monta as a mystery disc from Infinite. I mean, how else would we end up with one? No way we were gonna buy it. There's only one thing you can do with the Max. It's the original tilt. See? A disc doesn't need its balls gargled on just because it's so overstable. Most disc golfers can throw a Firebird and achieve the same results. However, if you use it properly, it can actually become extremely useful. Shout out Aaron DeVries for lighting up courses all over Wisco with the Mirage. Leave it to someone from my home state to be weird as fuck. I've always wondered how the Monarch avoided all the hate that the Groove receives, essentially for the same reason. We all know they're cousins anyway, and they for sure be fucking. If you don't want to spend the extra money on the Max and are smart enough not to get a tilt, try and look for a monster. As long as you don't throw it like Tom, you'll be just fine. Just because I don't know if it's pronounced mystery or mystire, I'm gonna put this low on the ranking. I'm not even sorry about it either. God, I fucking hate the Nova. I couldn't even convince myself for a second it was good, just like getting a hand job in your 20s. The only orcs worth bagging were made by a janitor in the middle of the night. That's when the discs come alive, if you didn't know. Pretty sure the only way to get a Panther is the premium starter pack. Even Nate Sexton will tell you that shit sucks. You're gonna have to wait until the end of the video for where the pig ends up on this ranking. But here's a hint. Just like Wilbur, this mid should be dead. Unironically, would rather see someone bag a polecat. Sure, these people might not use deodorant, but they still smell better than disc golfers that think the Rat is an acceptable forehand approach disc. Don't fall for that flat, shallow profile. You can do so much better. And never forget, snitches get stitches. Fuck Innova for making me believe that's how you spell rhino, and embarrassing myself in a college paper. What's up with Innova thinking they can add a suffix to the end of their names and call it done? Gives off the same energy when I copied my friend's homework during lunch, and we both ended up with C's. Hey, would you look at that? A disc I'm not gonna hate. As stupid as it sounds, this really is a disc nearly every disc golfer can work into their game. That being a Roadrunner. Not all for the same reasons, but in the bag nevertheless. Look at that, the most overrated mid-range in disc golf, The Rock. To be fair, I'm gonna say the same thing about the Buzz when I do Discraft, but that's not gonna be for a while. This video was way too much of a pain in the ass. Just like someone who bags a rock. Innova was all over the subscription game before it went mainstream. Too bad I won't even pay the $12.99 for DX Rock, so fuck the paywall with the Rock Plus. With that, we are now 75 Innova discs into this ranking. So here's the update. Still plenty of good discs out there, so don't go freaking out too hard yet. I will never understand how anyone thinks the Rock 3 feels good in the hand, but I think I would rather hold actual rocks than this thing. And no, putting an X in front of it doesn't make it better. Unless this is the porn version of the Rock, I don't want it. It's fucking half your guys' game anyway. The Rolo is kind of like eating ass for the first time. You really want to not like it, but once you throws your legs back, you just gotta enjoy the moment. You probably have never heard of a person saying something positive about the Savant, and today is not going to be any different. I don't know who the fuck keeps buying DX Sharks, but I swear it is the most found disc on any course. I could start the biggest shark collection in the world. That might be only because no one else is doing it, but still. I love how Innova's creativity stops at adding a 3. I wish I could be in the meeting of naming this disc because I gotta hear the names worse than Shark 3. The Shrike has the same numbers as the Groove. That should be enough for you not to care. Although, someone in my comments is always hyping this disc up, so I guess there's at least one fan. Unless you're still trying to log into your MySpace account, I don't see anyone using the Sidewinder. Scream Poors Man Roadrunner to me. Anyone who throws the Skeeter is into shit play. It's that simple. I have a small amount of respect for people that still throw the Sonic, because they were the dog frisbee chuckers before the glitch, and it's good to see they didn't jump at the first glance of the glorified beach disc. Guys, what the fuck is a spider? I don't even think this thing is real. Funny enough, the Starfire was one of the first discs I ever had. This is what I did to it. And I still think my drawings are better than the way this disc flies. Ayo, fuck the Stingray. All my homies hate that disc after what it did to my boy Steve. This is what people think buying this stud will make them, but gives more of these vibes off than anything. If you pop a pill to get your dick up, throw the T-Bird. But if you're like me and jerk off 4 times a day, T-Bird 3 is the move. Only people that have a Tasmanian devil tattoo, throw the T-Devil. That is not a compliment. People are somehow out here still using the T-Rex. That's wild. There's no way that disc is good for you. But hey, keep on trying. Not gonna lie, most of you should be throwing the Turn. It might make you a sissy, but at least you'll get free distance. Would you look at that? The most overrated bird from the Innova catalog. Wait, did I already say that? Actually, I care as much about the Thunderbird as I do repeating jokes. It really is the disc version of Zapdos, though. MVP really thought they could pull a fast one on us. Now, we all know Innova had the original time-lapse, except this one isn't reaching deep into your pockets. Right when I'm nice about one of their discs, they gotta go and do some dumb shit. The TL3? Real creative, guys. Cucks that throw the Toro dream of being the bull to their love. Start by throwing a better approach disc, you loser. This disc used to have the distance world record way back in the old days, and the Valkyrie should stick to being a thing of the past. 100 Innova discs have been ranked. We are officially at the home stretch. Please be nice to me, Mr. Dunapace. We really gotta start back with a disc no person needs. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen a V-Cobra and thought someone should buy that. The Viking is low-key a cool name for a disc. Too bad it flies like shit. Here we go again with Innova thinking adding a prefix to a disc would make people buy it. Wait, is that the V-Rock? Never mind, I actually fuck with that one. If you bought the Vulcan because you like Star Trek, I'll give you a pass. But any other reason, and you can go shove it up your ass farther than Altar 4, because I'm not buying it. Best chocolate milk on the market. Oh, that's not the Wahoo we're talking about? Well then what the fuck is it? I refuse to say anything bad about the Wedge, because a fellow homie has shown me the magic for years. However, he goes by Caddy, so that should tell you enough. What did the one AVR putter say to the other after a missed putt? Oh whale. I'll see myself out now. I would rather use one of the cans my cousin calls Daddy's Special Whipped Cream than throw the Innova Whippet. If I wanted to feel dumb as shit, I'd just start putting with the Firefly again. You can tell the Wolf is shit because there isn't any stupid variations of it. That's kind of the easy way to tell if a disc is popular or not. There's like 14 other mid-ranges made by Innova. Why the hell would I waste my time with a Wombat? Well, fuck. They have a Wombat 3? Might have to try that bad boy out. Took us long enough to get to a disc I actually like. 90% of destroyer throwers should be using a Wraith. Write that down somewhere before you forget. If you throw the XD, you're dumb as fuck. Sorry, that wasn't even clever. I've just talked about over 100 discs and don't care about one Innova only used 2 letters to name. Could have been worse, I guess. Could have been called Zero. And finally, the last mold. The Yeti AVR. At least we gotta end on a creative name. Well, there you have it. Every Innova disc ever made. Sort of. There's a couple not on here because they haven't had enough time in production for a proper rating. Or they just weren't on the list I was doing this off of. Or whatever else bullshit you'll believe. Hey, I gotta leave room for a sequel. It's the first rule they teach you at film school. Shout out to everyone who stuck around for this beast of a video. I'm not sure how long it ended up being, but definitely the longest one I've done on this channel. But you guys deserve it for getting me to 2,000 subscribers so damn quick. I mean, I'm used to doing things fast, but even I couldn't expect this one. So thank you guys, I really do appreciate it. Drop a comment for the next long project I should do, and I'll start working on that for 3,000 subscribers. But for now, you assholes should check out another video and support your boy, or become a member and get some cool perks.
Got it. Yeah.